Well, welcome to The Real Story. Let me give you a quick update on our border with Mexico. There have been 330 assaults on our border agents so far this year. That is more than one per day. Victims of drug violence are coming across the border to be treated in U.S. hospitals. The violence itself is spilling over as Mexican cartels now are actually physically growing the drugs here in our country. Oh, and did I mention the whole little legal immigration problem? But have no fear, the Border Governors Conference is here. Last week, 10 governors from the U.S. and Mexico met to discuss all of this. And here's where they started solving problems.
Air pollution, violence, drug running, and human trafficking. The Border Governors Conference recognizes the need to work together to address these issues, understanding that a state or nation's problems do not end with a line drawn on a map.
That's right. That's pretty dramatic. First of all, they put air pollution. That's the first. I mean, isn't it like Sesame Street? You know, one of these things is not like the other. I mean, and of course, our problems don't end with a line on a map. Yeah. If there was a fence on that map instead of a line, it probably would help, but I'm just saying. That was just the introduction. Surely, Governor Schwarzenegger would discuss the nitty-gritty and the border security and the drugs and everything. After all, California has been one of the hardest hit states by Mexican drug violence and illegal immigration. Why?
No border or line on the map can divide us, because there is no divide to the air that we all breathe or the clean water that we all depend on. There is no divide when it comes to the healthy environment and to the respect for the planet that we all share.
Really? Here's a real story. This conference had nothing to do with border security and everything to do with special interests. The theme was building green economies. Guess where it was held? Universal City in Hollywood, California. Universal, owned by GE, and GE has invested billions in green energy. They got a lot to gain if you start buying their compact fluorescent light bulbs and noticing their nice little green NBC logo. This has nothing to do with immigration and our border. But hey, GE can't pass up this opportunity. You kidding me? Even valiant environmental warrior Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was given a chance to preach about, well, I'm not really sure what he was preaching about, but here's a clip.
The archaic AC grid the electrons will dissipate before they cross the Mississippi River. The Midwest is the Saudi Arabia of wind. Iceland is an example. In 1970, Iceland was the poorest country in Europe.
That is fantastic. Now, I guess he's discussing Iceland because they have this great border security system called the ocean. Why solve the border crisis when you can just peddle green energy and help GE sell a few more light bulbs? I mean, by the way, have you seen NBC's Olympic coverage? This is the coolest thing ever. They have an air conditioner for their outdoor set. Not really environmentally friendly, but do as they say, not as they do. Congressman Duncan Hunter is a Republican from California. Congressman, really? Green? That was the theme of this?
Glenn, this was I think this was appropriately at the Universal Studios because it's a lot of myth and a lot of fabrication, and obviously the border governors, all of whom have been either lukewarm or adamantly opposed to the border fence, wanted to talk about things that aren't really important when the things that are really important, and you know, the most important endangered species we should be considering right now are the American children who are being poisoned by massive loads of cocaine coming across that border because we don't have that fence up yet. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, the before and after pictures with respect to the environment, that when we put the fence up, the double fence in San Diego.
Okay, hang on. There's the before.
Yeah, you saw loads of trash being dumped over the border, terrible environmental situation. When we put that double fence in, we absolutely cleaned it up. You tell me which of the is the most environmentally sensitive, but this is an off-limits subject for the border governors. They didn't want to talk about crime. They didn't want to talk about the massive number of murders that have been conducted now, almost all of them drug-related in the border cities, and the fact that the cartels are fighting for the American market. The one thing we can do is make sure we get that double fence up across the southern border, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, and California, just like the one I put up in San Diego. Let's get that up. That's the most important thing that those governors could do.